what's going on, everybody? This is Adam Burke from BangTheBook.com, coming to you with a look at game 103-104 on Friday night, standalone game, the Pac-12 Conference Championship Game between Oregon and Utah. Utah, 6.5-point favorite in this one, total of 45.5. We got thoughts on this and every game here for Week 15, the Conference Championship Week, over at BangTheBook.com, so make sure you head on over there and check it out. Make sure you take a look at my updated college football power ratings as well. Not a bad idea to start planting some seeds for the 2020 season about some of those teams that you want to be high on once those season win totals and those games of the year lines come out. Also, make sure you check out Danny Vorgs' updated NFL model projections and power ratings for Week 14, daily NHL picks from Parker Michaels, daily coverage in the NBA as well as college basketball, UFC preview for this weekend. Lots of good stuff going on over at BangTheBook.com. And a lot of good stuff going on Bang the Book Radio as well, which you can hear every Monday through Friday right here on our Bang the Book YouTube page or wherever you stream and download your podcast content. All right, Pac-12 Championship Game. Oregon and Utah would certainly help Utah to put some style points up in this one if they can in order to enhance their college football playoff hopes, because I do think politics come into play. If given the chance, Oklahoma, the bigger draw, probably going to get that spot over Utah if all things are considered relatively equal. So I think the Utes need a really big performance here against Oregon. We'll see if they get it, again, as a 6.5-point favorite. And the total on this game's come down from 51 to 45.5. So a massive drop here. That's not because it was a bad line. It's because weather expected to be a significant factor in Santa Clara, California, at Levi's Stadium for this one. Rain, wind, temperatures in the 40s. May not be that nice of a night for football, but that may be a nice night for those that got some line value here and went ahead and jumped in on the under. But we have seen this a lot here for Utah games this season, where they've grown into a bigger favorite despite the total coming down. That is the case here with this line going up from 5 to 6.5. And again, that total coming down 5.5 points to 45.5. Utah, 4th in the country in yards per play allowed. Oregon, 15th. Oregon is 19th in yards per play on offense. Utah, 9th in yards per play on offense. So these are two very, very good teams. The Pac-12's gotten a bad rap here over the last few years. Deservedly so. They haven't been very good. But these two teams are quite strong. Utah plus 2.71 yards per play differential between offensive yards per play and defensive yards per play. Oregon plus 1.73. So Utah definitely better in that department. Partially explains why this line going up. Explains why a lot of their lines have been going up here in the latter part of the season. But keep an eye on that when those bowl matchups come out. Yards per play differential, a very important statistic in terms of early line moves from the numbers grabbers, the modelers, and the quant guys. Keep an eye on that for the bowl season here. The team with the bigger yards per play differential, assuming the schedules are relatively close, probably going to take some money when we get to the bowl season. And we do see that here with Utah, who has played a little bit of a weaker schedule, taking the early money in this one. Utah, 9th on third down in terms of offensive conversion rate, 10th in third down defense against. Oregon, 32nd on the offensive side on third down, 26th on the defensive side. So it's not all about the weather why this total is coming down. There's also an expectation that Utah probably going to dictate the tempo, probably going to control this game a little bit more, which would kind of lend itself towards an under in this situation. Utah, 37th in touchdown percentage in the red zone. Oregon, 30th. Oregon, number 1 in the country in touchdown percentage on defense. Utah, 9th. So again, maybe looking for a little bit of bend but don't break defense from these two teams, which do stiffen up in the red zone. The value on the total is completely gone, though, for the most part. Even though statistically I think it still lines up, you're taking a number that's 5.5 points worse than where it was. Yes, the bad weather is a factor, but also just the straight-up handicap of this game would suggest the total of 51 a little bit too high in this one. Now, I do think bad weather conditions do favor Utah. 22nd in the country in rushing attempts. Oregon was 75th. Over 47% of Utah's offensive yardage on the ground, 39.5% of it for Oregon. Utah boasts the number 1 rush defense in the country in yards per carry allowed. Oregon is 13th. So it's really tough, though, to lay almost a touchdown in a game with a total of 45.5 with the bad weather, with the low-scoring environment expected. So it's very hard to take Utah here in this game. And in fact, my line is 4.5 here. So I don't really have too strong of an opinion on the side. I think Utah is the better team. I think Utah is the better coach team, in my opinion. But with the low-scoring environment, maybe 6.5, just a little bit too big for Oregon. If you really want to play this game from a side standpoint pregame, wait and see if you get a 7 on Oregon. There's a chance that at one of the more public books, it could wind up being a reality. Oregon plus 7 is a lot different than plus 6. That's the way that I would look to go here in this game if we can find a way to milk a plus 7 out of the market. If we can't, hope for an early score in this game, then live bet the under. Because I don't think we see a lot of up and down. Maybe you hope for a special teams play or a turnover in a short field, something like that. Then look for an opportunity to live bet the under, because neither one of these teams move particularly fast. Both of them do like to run the football, Utah more so than Oregon. And again, the weather conditions lending themselves towards an under. So that's my opinion here on this game, is to look for a chance to live bet the under, hoping for an early score here. Utah has been more consistent, has the stronger body of work. But again, in a lower scoring environment, if I had to take a side, Oregon plus 6.5, but I'm really holding out hope that we get a 7 with some reasonable juice out there for the Pac-12 Conference Championship game. I'm Adam Burke for BangTheBook.com.